Welcome to Royal Mass Sports Talk, guys. I apologize for the late start. We have had some freaking technical difficulties tonight. We lost audio, and then my stream key wouldn't work, and then we lost audio again, but we're back now, and we are going to be talking tonight about the two big games. Well, I call them big games, Thomas. I don't know about you. Two big games.
Every game that my team is in is a big game.
Yeah, well, that's yet to be determined. But nonetheless, guys, we are live. We are a little bit late getting started, and I do apologize. Steven, I see that you're here. That's awesome. Make sure that you are commenting down below because we do want to hear your opinions, guys. So make sure you do that. And also make sure you call in. The phone lines will be open here in a few minutes. I'm going to post the number down below. But before we get into the two big games, Thomas, let's talk a couple of things. First of all, Clay Helton is out at USC.
Yep.
You know how I feel about coaches being fired during the season. I think it's a bad idea. I'm not saying that he would have done anything better, but at least let the dude finish out and then fire him at the end of the season. I mean, now you're going to have players having to get used to an interim head coach, and then they got to find a head coach at the end of the season, which pretty good candidate out there that currently resides in a college that's doing a whiteout this weekend. But, that's here nor there. Somebody made the comment. I'm a member of a couple Auburn groups on Facebook, and somebody said they made the comment saying that James Franklin's going to pull a Leonardo DiCaprio from the Wolf of Wall Street and stand on the 50-yard line right before the game starts and says, "I'm not effing leaving," and drop the mic. But I don't know how. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, did you tag me on the video?
Do what?
Did you tag me?
No, I didn't. I can.
Okay.
Once it's over with.
'Cause I just wanted to show up on my page.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if I can tag you now. We are live, guys, and we're going to be talking a little bit, but we want y'all to call in too, and hopefully we will get. What the heck? You're my friend on Facebook. That's stupid. They won't let me tag Thomas for some reason. That's so stupid. But we're live, guys, and we're just gonna be talking football tonight. I was gonna record this and put it on Facebook. I'm sorry, not Facebook, but YouTube. But with the technical difficulties I've been having lately, it's just been not very good. And then for some reason, when I tried to stream from our Royally Mad page on Facebook, it never works right. So we may just have to start streaming from either mine or Thomas's main page and go from there. And I see we got somebody viewing now.
It did it for me.
That's so weird. Attack Thomas. Okay, cool. So we're live. We do have a viewer who's watching us. Who's watching us? It doesn't say, does it? Nope, it doesn't say. All right, Thomas. So we know that the SEC is extremely competitive this year. At least in my opinion, it is. If you had to break down the East right now, after two games, who would you pick from 1 to 7? And you can start with 7 or 1. It doesn't matter to me.
I'll go 7-1.
All right.
So obviously number 7 is going to be Vandy.
Oh man, Vandy's awesome.
I mean, at baseball, yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking baseball.
6 South Carolina, maybe. That's a hard one.
Yes, it is.
I say Tennessee 5, Missouri 4, Florida 3, Kentucky 2, Georgia 1.
See, mine's almost like yours. Mine is going to be Vanderbilt 7th, Tennessee 6th, South Carolina 5th, Missouri, Florida, Kentucky, and Georgia. Georgia's got some talent this year, but from my understanding, they don't really have an offense. I don't know how good that offense is going to be. It looks like we got sound. I don't know what in the heck is going on with this thing tonight, man. We've been talking for daggum 30 minutes, and we're just now getting sound. I don't know. That's crazy, dude. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Let me turn this down so that way it doesn't noise doesn't get into our ear from the.
Sorry about that. Let me turn this down, so that way it doesn't noise doesn't get into our ear from the. Sorry about that. Let me turn.
All right, guys. So we were talking, Thomas, a second ago. We were talking a second ago about the game Saturday between Alabama and Florida, and we asked the question: do we think that Bryce Young is going to struggle with the crowd noise? And you see the poll up there on the screen. Like I said, I think he'll struggle maybe the first quarter, halfway through the first quarter, and then from there he's gonna get his composure. He's gonna get a feel for the crowd, and then go. I think Alabama's gonna start off slow, only because it's on the road, and I think they're just gonna kind of get the feel for Florida's defense. Not that they're scared to score. I mean, they're going to put points up.
Yeah.
So what'd you say is a 14.5-point spread? I think that's a little low, personally. I was feeling more 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Which I know it's not much of a difference. It's a 4-point difference. But, I mean, when you've got the team that Alabama has, even if you're on the road, you're going to be favored. And I don't know.
Refresh that, because we've had more comments since then.
It's going to be a good game. Shit.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, see how many people have commented?
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's not updating the comments.
All right, AJ, I'm glad you can hear us now, dude. I'm glad that y'all can actually join in. We got 6 people watching now. Cool. All right.
He's asked what we discussed so far. We probably should go over some of the stuff since they didn't hear us.
Yeah, so what we basically talked about before
just in a nutshell
was we ranked the SEC East and the West from 1 to 7. And I'll let Thomas give you his East and West, and I'll give you my East and West.
And I'm not even sure I'm going to remember, so...
I do, if you mess up.
Yeah. Okay, so starting with the East, I've got Vandy 7, South Carolina 6, Tennessee 5. I think that's what I had.
Yeah.
Missouri 4, Florida 3, Kentucky 2, Georgia 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's just based off what I've seen so far. Kentucky has a conference win. Obviously, that's nobody else's fault because nobody else has had a conference game yet. Then West, 7th I had, I believe, Mississippi State. And then I had LSU. And then I had, Mississippi State, LSU. I may have had Auburn 5th. And then Texas A&M 4th.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And then Ole Miss 3rd, Arkansas 2nd, and Alabama 1st.
So mine was for the West. For the East was Vanderbilt, Tennessee, South Carolina, Missouri, Florida, Kentucky, Georgia. And my West was Alabama 7. Just kidding.
Right.
It was Alabama 1, Arkansas 2, Ole Miss 3, Auburn 4, A&M 5, Mississippi State 6, and LSU last. That's only because LSU lost to UCLA. They struggled against McNeese State. Now, I'm not saying UCLA is a bad team because they may not be. They may actually end up going like 10-2 this year. I don't know. I think they'll beat USC now because of the coaching situation there. But that was my rundown of that. And then we started talking about the Alabama-Florida game, and that's when y'all came in. So y'all haven't missed much. AJ, I agree with you. It is going to be interesting with that rain. Yeah. I don't know how well Alabama plays in the rain, but
no, I haven't seen them play in the rain.
I mean, they should be used to it. I mean, it rains a crap ton here, or has been lately anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
sure they've had to practice in it. So
yeah, but we're going to give our scores at the end of this. But let's talk real quick about the Auburn Penn State game, and then open up the phone lines. What do you say?
Okay.
All right. Auburn travels to Beaver Stadium. It's the 7:30 kickoff on on ABC. College Game Day is going to be there. That crowd's going to be loud. They're going to be ready to play. I did a video on this yesterday, and I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism and a lot of comments and negative. Oh, I know you were laughing about me joking about Bama being 7th in the West. The only way Alabama's going to be 7th in the West is when Nick Saban leaves. I mean, and even then, they won't be 7th. They may not be number 1, but they won't be 7th for a long time unless they get another Mike Shula. Please, please, please. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Auburn goes on the road to Penn State. First big challenge they've played, or they've had. This is going to be a big test for Auburn. And based off of what I've seen with their offense, granted they haven't played anybody,
Yep.
but their offense looks a lot better than they did last year. And I say that because Bo Nix looked like he had more composure.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself in the game a couple years ago when Auburn played Mercer. Well, I can't use that example because Jarrett Stidham was there then. Well, I can. Auburn struggled against Mercer in 2018. They barely won. Gus, for some reason, did not know how to coach that football team. He couldn't develop his talent. He couldn't develop a quarterback for sure. And, you know, I thought when Bo Nix won the game and his very first start when he beat Oregon, I thought he was going to be the real deal.
Yeah.
But then we saw how Bo Nix reacted on the road, losing to Florida, losing to LSU, losing to Georgia on the road. Now, given credit where credit is due, the noise there is not the easiest place to play, you know, by far.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that the crowd noise, because Bo Nix has played there before, he's used to the crowd noise. I mean, he played in Florida and he played in LSU.
Mm-hmm.
He played in Texas A&M his freshman year. So he's used to those loud stadiums. I personally don't think the noise is going to be a factor for him. I think that if Auburn loses a game, it's going to be because of poor execution, not because Bo is affected by the noise. And their defense, this is what we're talking about. Auburn's defense in the past, their strength has been their front seven, but they've got one of the best secondaries in the country. And that's not just me saying that. I've heard several people say that. You know, you got Roger McCreary back there who's already had an interception or two. They're going to give Sean Clifford all they can handle. And if that front seven can put some pressure on Sean Clifford, force him to make some bad throws or run out of the pocket and scramble, Auburn has a good chance. They look good. I feel confident about this game, and I'll give you my score prediction here in just a few minutes. But before you talk about it, Thomas, there's a guy on YouTube yesterday. A couple days ago, I watched his video of the prediction, and he made the comment, and I laughed, and I told Haley about it, and she laughed too. The guy said Penn State's going to win the ball game because they want it more. Now, what team in your right mind goes into a football game with the mindset of, oh, we're going to lose this ball game?
Yeah.
That comment.
I mean, yeah, Penn State wants it more, and you know, in Auburn's mindset, they want it more. So
exactly.
They both want it more.
Exactly. So that comment doesn't really hold water because each team is going to go in there ready to fight. They're hungry. Mm-hmm. They both had bad seasons last year. They're looking to rebound. And I posted on Twitter, you know, I'm starting to trash talk. I said, Dear Penn State, do you have a tank coming into your town this weekend, and we're not responsible for any damages that will occur? Sincerely, Auburn University. I mean, Tank Bigsby, man. Here's the thing. Here's why I say that I think Auburn's going to do fine against Penn State. Wisconsin held Penn State to 50 rushing yards, 247 passing yards, and a touchdown. I'm not going to sit here and say that Auburn's defense is way better than Wisconsin, but I think that they're at the same level. I think if we shut down their running game and force them to pass, our secondary is going to be good enough to slow them down.
Well, let's face it. The main reason Penn State won that game is because Wisconsin had 3 turnovers.
In the red zone.
Yeah. So it easily could have been Wisconsin easily could have won by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So let's just.
Wisconsin should have won by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Because, see, they lost 16-10. So they had 3 turnovers in the red zone. So that 17, 24, 31. You know, assuming they would have made all their extra points, you're looking at 31-16 instead of 16-10.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So.
I agree. And then I don't know how. I mean, Wisconsin. I don't know what Penn State's rushing defense was like against Wisconsin.
I'm not sure.
I had the numbers up earlier, but I didn't pay attention to them. I didn't really memorize them. Penn State might be a challenge, but what I saw week 1 live and in person, Auburn looks instantly better. No, look, Steven, I agree, man. And I get it. We have played less than competitive competition. I get that. Alabama State and Akron was not a competition for Auburn, but that's where they have advantage over Penn State, in my opinion. I say that for 2 reasons. One, Auburn got 2 extra days of practice in, Two, Penn State doesn't have any good film to study on Auburn. Yeah, you could watch Alabama State game, but that's not really studying much.
Right.
Auburn can watch the Wisconsin Penn State game and know what to do and what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
They know not to turn the ball over third quarter. I mean, 3 times.
Well, that's really any team. But.
One thing Auburn needs to work on, and I noticed this especially the first half of last week, they got a lot of false start penalties at home. They had to call a timeout because Bo Nix, or they couldn't communicate properly, and I think they got to delay a game too. And Brian Harsin, from what I hear, I heard this on the radio the other day, and it may be a rumor, but I heard that at halftime, he went in the locker room, he looked at his players and his coaches and told them that they sucked. I can tell you one thing, Auburn hasn't had that in a while.
Yeah.
They have not had a coach to tell them how he really feels about them.
My outlook on the whole thing is, Auburn played Akron and Alabama State. Okay, I mean, Hoover High School could beat Akron and Alabama State. But it was like I was telling you.
Stanhope couldn't.
Well, I don't want to go down that road. It's like I was telling you one day last week, though. It wasn't so much the difference, who they played. It was the fact that if Gus Malzahn was still the coach.
What's up, OC? Hey, Sergeant Major, how you doing? The JC's watching.
But it was like I was saying, if Gus Malzahn was the coach again this year, they wouldn't have beat Akron. What was it?
No, they would have put up maybe 40 and stopped.
55 to nothing, I think.
No, it was 61 to nothing. I think.
Okay, that game to me would have, if Malzahn was still coaching, maybe 38 to 10.
Yeah, 62. It was 60 or 61 to nothing.
Or,
Alabama State was 62 nothing.
Or if I want to be generous, I'll say 38 to 3, not a touchdown. But still,
no, it would have been more than 3. They would have put up like 14 or 17. But I mean, Gus for some reason, man.
That's where I saw the difference. It wasn't so
hey,
much.
Brooke.
Yeah, I mean it's the level of competition, but it's the way that they were coached against the level. They actually played. Instead of playing down to their competition, Auburn played SEC football compared to Group of 5 or FCS football.
Yeah, look, Auburn went in there and they did what they were supposed to do. They beat a less than a team that was inferior to them.
Yeah. And
they did what they had to do. And that's what you're supposed to do. They didn't do that during the Gus Malzahn era. For some reason, Gus would like to he took his foot off the brake in several games. Here's one thing I'm going to say about Bo Nix. Yes, he looks improved after 2 games. In 2019, he had Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway. what am I talking about tonight? Joey Gatewood. He had Joey Gatewood. And I remember this distinctively. Auburn was down by LSU late in the fourth quarter. Joey Gatewood wanted to go in the game. Gus grabbed him by the arm and pulled him off the field, and LSU ended up winning the game. I feel that if Gatewood would have went in, they would have at least had a little bit better shot at winning. But the problem with Bo last year, he had no competition. This year, he's got TJ Finley, who was 1 play away from being the starter. Yeah. And week 1, he didn't look very good. But week 2, I saw massive improvements in TJ Finley. Mm-hmm. He was hitting his passes. He was making his reads. And now I'll tell you one thing. Bo did not pass the ball as well last week as he did the first week, but that was mainly due to some receivers dropping. You know, Cam Newton's brother plays for Auburn. He's a wide receiver. Yeah. He dropped a pass wide open. Would have been a touchdown. So that's one thing Harsin touched on was ball security, making sure that you're hanging on to the ball.
I'm going to tell you something as, speaking objectively, we all know who my team is, but speaking objectively, what I would like to see Auburn do in this game, because I've seen Tank Bigsby and now I've seen Jarquez Hunter, I would like to see Harsin use both of them. Put Bigsby in for a few snaps, bring him out. Then put Hunter in for a few snaps, bring him out. You'll wear the defense down quicker that way.
Oh, he will.
And you'll keep the running backs' stamina better that way.
Yeah.
So, do like Alabama, used to do before they started winning into all this passing. Saban always had 2 really good running backs.
Yep.
And he would switch them out the whole game. So,
one thing about the running game that I'm worried about is Sean Shivers may or may not be able to go. He is injured, but he's day-to-day. And, people talk crazy about Sean Shivers, but let me tell you something about that boy. I saw him against Akron level a linebacker, keep running, pick up the first down, and he finally got brought down. He may be small, but that dude can hit.
Yeah.
Straight up, he can run you over. So if he's a factor, if he's in the game, then Auburn's got 3 really running games that can run the ball down Penn State's throat. Bo Nix may not throw for 200 yards because he may not need to.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and open up these phone lines. There's a number right there posted below. Y'all make sure you give us a call, guys. Give us your thoughts on the game. Give us your predictions if you want to. That's fine. One thing I want to start doing, Thomas, when we start getting a little bit more views, is do a weekly pick contest, and whoever picks the score, either the closest or right on, or not right on, but exactly the right score, we need to start giving away some kind of prize, whether it be a gift card or once we get shirts made, we can give some of those away, something like that.
Yeah.
So we really want y'all's input, guys. The phone number the lines are open. It's 334-395-0561. Make sure you call in. Give us your opinion of the Auburn-Penn State game and or the Alabama-Florida game, how you think it's going to go. You can give us scores if you want to, and we'll talk some football with y'all. So let's let everybody get a chance to get by their phones. And the game comes down to whether or not Penn State can slow down Tank Bigsby and who makes the most explosive plays. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think in a game like this, it's going to be about explosive plays.
Oh, it's got to be about explosive plays. And I don't think either team's going to score the first couple drives. I think it's going to be more of a getting a feel for everybody, for their defense, and seeing what they can and can't get away with.
I see this being more of like a 28-23 game instead of, I did hear something interesting on the radio today, and it was a really good point, and I agree. It's either going to be like a really close game, or if it is a blowout, like some people think, I don't think it's going to be a blowout and Penn State win. It'll be a blowout and Auburn win because I think Auburn has a more talented, more powerful, more high potent offense than Penn State does.
I agree.
So, if it's gonna be a blowout, it'll be Auburn doing the blowing out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But if it's gonna be a close game, then it could go either way.
Thomas, what would you do if Auburn hung 40 points on Penn State?
I really wouldn't be surprised. I think I would be more surprised if Auburn hung up 40 and Penn State still scored like 31, something like that.
Oh, AJ, I'm sorry. I put the wrong number there, dude. Give me a second.
But
my fault, guys. I posted the wrong number. It's not 395.
Auburn putting up 40 points wouldn't surprise me. It would be if Penn State were to keep it close with Auburn still putting up 40 points. That's what would surprise me.
Yeah. There you go. Sorry, guys. I had the wrong number posted. It's 392-0561. Sorry, I can't read today. Yeah. I mean, let me ask you this. If Auburn goes in there Saturday night and beats Penn State convincingly, and I mean by 2 touchdowns or more, do you think they get put in the top 10?
I think they hold off. I think they put them at least top 15, but I think they hold off just a little bit and wait and see how Auburn does. Because really and truly, starting with Penn State, Auburn's got a pretty brutal stretch coming up.
Yeah, they do.
Really brutal. I believe they have one of the toughest schedules in the conference. If I'm not mistaken.
They do. And look, LSU may not look good, but playing them at home is never easy.
I mean, like after they got Penn State, they get a little bit of a break, and they got Georgia State. Okay, but then they got LSU the first Saturday in October, and then the very next week they got Georgia. I think if they go into 3-4-5-0, if they go into the Georgia game 5-0, which that means wins over Penn State, Georgia State, and LSU, then I think they will be top 10 going into the Georgia game. So,
yeah, if Auburn beats Penn State, they're going to beat Georgia State. They're going to have I think personally, even though the game's going to be in Death Valley, I think they'll be favored going into that game.
Yes.
And then if Auburn could pull, I don't even want to call it the upset over LSU at this point, but if Auburn could beat, LSU in Death Valley, then that Auburn-Georgia game is all of a sudden looking very interesting.
Yep.
No, we got a call coming in. Hey, you're on with TJ and Thomas.
Hey, man, it's AJ.
What's up, AJ?
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, man.
Oh, it's going pretty good. I'm sitting here watching a little bit of this Washington football team and the Giants game right now.
How's that going?
But 10-7 Giants.
Okay.
Saquon had a pretty long run earlier. But Washington's driving right now with like 49 seconds before halftime.
Hey, speaking of NFL, man, did you watch the Monday Night Football game with the Ravens and
You're talking about the
I watched toward the
first
end.
half slot fest.
Yeah, it was horrible. Did you
slot
did you
fest
know
was
that?
game? Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What did you say?
Did you know that Peyton and Eli Manning watched the game on ESPN2 and they were commentating it?
Oh yeah,
It was really good.
It was
I
great.
heard about it. Heard
Yeah, dude.
Peyton had like a Ravens helmet that didn't fit him, and
Yeah.
Eli was talking how big his head was.
It actually made NFL game watchable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start watching NFL games
Yeah.
with them more often. I mean, they're naturally funny people and they're
Right.
good dudes.
Yeah. Hey, I was just going to comment on what y'all were saying about the Penn State game.
Okay.
I agree with the fact that if Bigsby gets going, that it could get out of hand. But I also think this. I know a lot of people don't realize this. My dad lives about an hour south of State College. He lives in McBaytown, Pennsylvania. I've got to go. I haven't got to go to a whiteout game, but I went to the Nebraska game Saquon's junior year.
Yeah.
And it was like a terrible weather game. But that place was electric even then.
Oh yeah,
and
I can
Penn State
imagine.
wasn't very good. wasn't very good at all. But I agree too that Florida's going to be wild Saturday with it being raining, and I could see that too. But going to the Penn State game, it's kind of like, the way I describe it is it's kind of like Jordan Hare. You know, there's something about that place at night.
Mhm.
It's like it elevates to another level of, like, the experience is to another level when you watch a game there. I mean, I haven't experienced one. I want to go. I was kind of wanting to go this year to this game, but I kind of banged up my ankle, so I couldn't go. But it's just, to me, it's like this magic kind of deal, kind of like at Jordan Hare. It's just at night, it just, I guess, like everywhere, though. Like LSU's the same way, but Auburn especially, it's just like that crowd and that environment gives them added touchdown just because the noise and the excitement from the fans. So I think this place is going to be wild, and I don't know. I just really think it's going to be a real close game.
Oh yeah.
And not taking anything away from Auburn, but I think Penn State is a little underrated coming into this game. For one simple fact, the Wisconsin game, yeah, there was not very good play, but Clifford missed a lot of guys that are open this game, and the defense made the plays they needed to do. Wisconsin made mistakes, but the defense caused the mistakes. And Penn State's defense, I think, has gotten a lot better. They've got a couple of transfers. They've got a kid from Temple. There's a kid from Duke that came in on the defensive line. So it's going to be, if they can't stop Bigsby, it's going to be a long night.
Yep.
But if they can somehow slow him down, I do think they can get to Nix. And I don't, like I said, I really think it's a swing game. So it could go either way. I'm not saying
so.
that Auburn can't win the game. I could see them winning. But it's also a swing game for Penn State. Whoever wins this game, it's going to catapult them into the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think a lot of folks are forgetting, too, Penn State with last year, you know, they lose Journey Brown to a heart issue. That's why he had to quit playing football, because he had a heart issue. And Noah Kane got hurt last year. He's back. He's a kid from Louisiana at running back. And then they have a couple of wideouts. Parker Washington and Dotson is their main guy. Dotson is a big play guy, and they've got to stop him.
Yeah,
Like,
I tell you what,
I agree
I'm looking.
they should slow down the running game. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
going to say I'm looking forward to that matchup between Dotson and McCreary, Roger McCreary. That's going to be a
Yeah.
really good matchup.
Yeah, and like I said, for all the Auburn fans, I say go to this game if you can, because, look, a lot of places treat you like garbage. The fans at Penn State aren't going to treat you like crap.
No,
So,
I've heard
I mean,
that by several people.
You're going to have your typical college kids, okay? Those don't count. The real fans of Penn State, they're going to treat you right and tell you where to go. And I would suggest, if you're going to go anywhere, there's an ice cream place it's an ice cream shop on campus called Berkey Creamery.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get ice cream from here. Best ice cream I've ever had, ever.
I've heard several
they got
people
a
talk about that
flavor
place.
called Death by Chocolate. Oh, my gosh.
It
Anyway,
sounds good.
the
Yeah, it
place
does sound
is awesome. And like I said, the weather, from what I'm understanding, is going to be like 58, 60 in that range. And it's going to be like 5 to 12 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
So that could be a factor, too. I don't think
It
it's
is.
very heavy winds, but it's still going to make it feel cold. And,
Oh, yeah, that wind
but it's
blowing
supposed
in the
to be,
cold
It's
is always
supposed to be
colder.
clear, and I think it's supposed to rain earlier in the day, so you never know with the weather up there, too. It could say it's not going to rain, and it could rain. But if it doesn't rain, it should be a great night for football, and, man, I swear I wish I was at this game.
Man, I tell you what, I
mean,
wish
even
I
being a
could
Bama
too.
fan, even being a Bama fan, it's just the electricity in the stadium is going to be like no other. And same thing with like the Florida game. I'm kind of glad it's going to be raining because to me, you got to go to the swamp when it's raining because it makes it that much more of a challenge. And I know
Really
it
is
sounds
a
crazy,
swamp.
Yeah,
but it makes that much more of the atmosphere that much greater. And I'm just excited about this week. I think those are really big games. I hate they're the same weekend, but
yeah,
I'm
but
glad
at least
they're
they're not
at
at the
least
same
got them
time.
spread out so you can watch both of them.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
at least they're not at the same time. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
man,
and I
we'll,
don't mean
we'll,
to jam up your phone line, but anyway, I guess let me give you a score for this game. And again, I hate to do this. I know you might not agree with me, but I'm going to take Penn State in a close game. I'm going to say 24-20.
that's what
I
I'm hearing.
just feel
I'm
like
hearing a lot.
This is going to be either way. I think it's going to be close. I think
Yeah, it's gonna be a close
It could
game.
go either way. It could go either way, but I just think the atmosphere. And I heard your comment about the guy saying that Penn State wants it more. I don't necessarily know if that's true, but they need it more because
Yeah,
That's the difference.
the fact that they've kind of been in the Big Ten, they've kind of been overlooked. And the year they should have been in the playoffs, they won the conference championship and they got left out. They
yeah,
had
I
2
agree.
losses, but they deserve to be there. They deserve to be there. And they've always kind of been Ohio State and Michigan's stepbrother in the league. And it's just like the Big Ten, like to be honest with you, had the Big East stayed together, they would have made it more sense in the Big East when
Yeah.
Miami and Pitt and all them were in there.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that rivalry with Pitt. But anyway.
Man,
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I
say
got.
one more thing, and then
I-
I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'll let you go. If Auburn wins Saturday, it's gonna define the rest of their season.
Yep. And that's
Meaning-
what I'm saying. It's a swing game. So
Yeah,
gonna
it's going
define
it's going to make the
each of
difference
their
between them
seasons.
having a 6-6 team or a 9-3 team.
Yeah, and here, let me throw this one stat out at you. And again, it doesn't mean anything. They throw these stats out all the time. But Auburn is 1-6 on the road when game day is at the other team's place.
Yep.
The last win they had was Tennessee in 04.
Not long
And
ago.
that's the only stat I got. But and what's even more wild than that, I'm sorry, the fact that Penn State or Auburn's not played a Big Ten team since 1931 on the road. I mean, that to me, that's why I like the home and home series
Yeah, me
because you
too.
don't get that with the neutral site games. And I just love these home and home series, and I want it to come back. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
I
I
do
got.
too.
I'm going to listen to you guys, but thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, man. Have a good night, buddy. All
All right, buddy. I'll listen to y'all though.
right, man. Thanks, AJ, for calling in. He made a lot of good points about the atmosphere there. I've never been there, but I've heard several people saying that that's one of the nicest fan base you'll ever meet. Brandon, if you're watching, I don't know if you still are or not. Do you remember AJ? He had that friend Bob, who was a big Penn State fan. Thomas, you may have remembered him. He was at a football party one time when I lived with Joey and them, and he'd walk around saying, "Penn State, Penn State," and it was really funny because the dude wasn't ever sober, but it was it was great, man. I'm like, dude, I didn't know you were a big Penn State fan, but so I do know some Penn State fans, and then my friend Andy from a long time ago, he was a Penn State fan. Yeah, I haven't talked to him in years. But the guys, the phone lines are open 334-392-0561. We're talking Auburn, Florida. Auburn, Penn State, Alabama, Florida. We're going to stay on here for about another 15 minutes or so. We both need to get in bed, and Thomas has got to go see his daughter tomorrow, so I don't want to keep him too late. But I do want to hear from a couple more people, guys. Call us below 334-392-0561. And if you notice also, these things come across, that's our YouTube channel. So make sure you click on that link if you can. If not, write it down and follow us on YouTube. I can't talk tonight. And then here is our Twitter handle. So if you have a Twitter, go ahead and follow us on there as well. And we post videos. Try to every day on YouTube, but it kind of gets hard when you've got a family. So 334-392-0561 is the number. Make sure you give us a call. Give us your score. Give us your pick. AJ says the Bama-Florida game is going to be 34-13. That's probably very close. The only way I see Florida putting up more points is if they put in Richardson. And that's only because Alabama's not going to be used to him. But then they'll learn how to stop him and then still win the game. So.
And, by the way, Saban said on his weekly show that he does every Thursday night, said that Will Anderson will be okay for the game, barring any unforeseen circumstances. So
cool.
Will Anderson Jr. will be back for this week's game.
Gotcha.
So that's big
That's
for our
good
defense.
News. That's real good news for Alabama.
Yep.
Not so good news for Florida.
No, I still wish we had Christopher Allen, though.
Yeah.
Both of them on the edges.
Y'all, I don't know if my wife is watching this, but I love. If you don't have this on your phone, put it on there. Life 360. You can find out exactly where somebody is unless they block their location, and I can find out if she's speeding or not. So if she gets pulled over and gets a ticket, I can find out it was for speeding or not.
She is a speeder, but with the kids with her, she may not be.
No, she don't drive fast with the kids, but when it's just me and her, she's that daggum Dylan Hart out there. Scares the crap out of me.
She'll be going a 70 and a 40.
That's true. Oh, I didn't know Richardson was dealing with a hamstring. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah.
Dan Mullen said he's going to be questionable, but if Dan Mullen is smart and he gets that leg healed and he's 100%, he needs to put Richardson in,
Yeah,
at least for some series.
Yeah, they've been saying that somebody within Alabama has been saying that Billingsley is going to be in this game, and I got a feeling he's going to play a big role. Jaleel Billingsley,
Yeah.
big tight end we got. I think he's going to be back, and he's probably going to utilize a lot in the passing game. So.
You got more people watching. Guys, our phone lines are open. It's 334-392-0561. We're going to wait here for a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap it up. And we'll give you our scores for the Alabama-Florida as well as the Auburn-Penn State game. But if you want to watch my analysis on the Auburn-Penn State game, check out our YouTube channel. It's Really Mad Sports Talk. It shouldn't be too hard to find. Here's the link right here. Just jot that down and look us up. We're excited to be on the YouTube channel now, and we're hoping to broaden even further. It's 14-10 Washington at halftime. That's cool. I guess them changing their name and all that kind of stuff. It's good for them to do something. But dude, I tell you what, I didn't realize the Raiders were going to be a team. Well, and they may not be. Maybe the Ravens just aren't as good.
I think the Raiders were playing for a lot the other night because it was their first time playing in the game with a packed stadium. You know, obviously because last year it was their first time having maximum capacity, and I think they wanted to show up for their fans. And I mean, they brought it. So. Well,
buddy, I see that you're watching. What's up, man? If you want to call in and talk about your beloved Crimson Tide, give us a call at 334-392-0561.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Scientologist head coach.
Hey, man, look. I don't care what somebody's beliefs are. As long as they take my football team to the next level, I'm fine.
Look there. Opelika over Carver in the second.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it's Thursday. They do have school football games. Mm-hmm. Cool. Opelika's always had a pretty good football team.
And Old Gus has got a game tomorrow night against Louisville.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. Mm-hmm. I don't know how good Louisville is, but is it?
Yeah. Hopefully, I won't get stuck in any of that traffic on the way up there.
The wife's about to be home. We'll give you all a couple more minutes, guys. 334-392-0561. We'd like to get at least one more caller in and get your opinion on the Auburn-Florida. Dang, I keep saying Auburn-Florida. Auburn-Penn State, Alabama-Florida game.
It's okay. It's typical of Auburn fans not to be able to talk.
Hey, man, look. Well, while we're waiting for a call to come in, let's go ahead and give our score predictions for this Saturday's games. You want to go first? Or you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. And I guess I'll just go chronological order. So we'll start with Alabama, Florida first, instead of the first game. Let's see. Let me double check the spread again. 14.5. I don't know if that'll change between now and Saturday.
Maybe about a point or two.
Yeah. Obviously, I think Alabama's going to cover that. I think it might be a little bit of a competition in the first half. But then I think the second half they're going to get it together. Bryce Young's going to settle in, and that's when the offense is going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I say Alabama's going to score at least 21 points in the second half.
Yeah.
I think it'll be kind of. I think the going into halftime is going to look close, probably 14-10, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to end up being. I don't know. I say Alabama 38, Florida. No, I'll say Alabama 35, Florida 17. So
Dude,
they're still covering.
You were reading my mind. I'm like you. I think Alabama might struggle a little bit the first half. Second half, they'll come out and get things done. I say it's going to be 38-20 Alabama.
Yeah. See, I was going to say 20, but I just can't picture Alabama's defense giving up 20 points. But they might.
No, but they gave up 14 against Mercer. So
well,
again, it was just like second, third string.
Well,
but
that and the style of offense that Mercer runs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, big game this weekend. Auburn, Penn State.
I think I don't think either team is going to make it to 28 points in this game. But I say Auburn wins 24-20.
Wow, that's a shock. All right, y'all going to call me crazy on this, but I think Tank Bigsby is going to unload on Penn State. I think they're going to have a hard time stopping him because they're not going to see a running back like him and Jarquez Hunter. It's going to be a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
I think Auburn puts up 31. 31-10 is my final score. Guys, we appreciate y'all watching tonight. We hate we couldn't get more calls in, but we did have some difficulties. I'm going to wait for my wife to come in because I want her to hear this. So, anybody else wants to call, y'all got about 2 minutes to call us, 334-392-0561. Make sure you get your score predictions in with us because we're going to start running contests later on in the season, hopefully. And so that's how that's going to go. So now that my wife is here, I can say this really quick. She says I never say it. So, guys, we're gonna end that here. Have fun this weekend. Enjoy watching football. War Eagle, Roll Tide, Go Gators. Say what you want to say. Unless you're a Penn State fan, then y'all can just stay quiet. So, guys, thank y'all for watching with us, and we'll see y'all in the next video.